Hi, welcome to my channel, Flyby. My name's Mal. About 7 years ago, I got involved in building an airplane. And I decided I wanted a seaplane really badly, so I bought this. This is a 1946 Seabee, they would call it, made by the company Republic. And they basically built this at the end of World War II to help pick up and rescue survivors from airplanes out in the Pacific. And so it never really got to see its usefulness in the military, but they decided to sell it to the civilians in the United States, thinking that they would be interested in having this, and they had great success with it. This is a very unique airplane in the fact that it's not really a float plane, it's a seaplane. The difference is that a float plane has giant pontoons underneath it for its gear, and it lands in the water. But this uses its hull as a means of getting into the water, and it becomes like a boat. So this is nothing more than really like a 16-foot Johnson Boston whaler really underneath, and we put a hood over it. So, and one of the big steps back in this airplane was the engine, because it was built in 1946, and a lot of people have been modifying these. This is modified with an LS6 Corvette engine that puts out about 405 horsepower, which is about twice what it was back when it was originally designed. For this reason, because of the engine, it's been designated as experimental. And
what about the engine is different?
It's a Corvette engine that called an LS6, and it basically was built by GM. It's one of the most reliable engines they ever built, and they have great advantages over regular aviation engines. The old engine used to burn about anywhere from 15 to 18 gallons per hour. It was just like this does about 11, and sometimes even less than that. But
it's a regular car engine too, right?
Yes, and so you use regular car engine parts, which makes it a lot more cheaper to own.
And gas.
And gas, yes. It's like, it also, due to this, automobile engines have made a lot more advances than airplane engines, in the fact that instead of like, it uses fuel injection for all 8 cylinders, and it uses 8 electronic igniters for spark plugs. So it's a completely advanced.
So it's more reliable than your.
Yes, very much so, and it also gives you a lot of you would say duplicate operation. If let's say a fuel injector or an igniter goes out, it doesn't matter, it'll keep on going for you, because it has 7 more.
So it's like a 4-wheel drive versus like a 2-wheel drive kind of?
Yeah, it's very nice. This came with a lot of modifications. This used to be a very narrow thing. These are very large stepways. It actually helps you go into the water much smoother, and it allows you to step up on them much more easily and get into the airplane for entry and exit. This uses large Tundra tires for going over rough terrain if you have to do that. The doorways basically come without, or just hinge points, and they were able to fold all the way to the front. So it's a nice modifications that they made with this, but they're still fairly challenging to fly. One of the differences between airplanes that are amphibious like this is that they come with floats that sit there and balance the airplane in the water, so that the wings one wing doesn't ever go under. And and you can also use this mirror to check your gear, whether or not it's up or down. When you look out to the side, you can see that. was another modification were these endpoints of the wings. They were extensions. They're called wing extensions. They come out about 28 inches, and they curve down to help aerodynamics. This airplane can get flying at about 40 miles an hour due to this streamlining of the outside. So,
Can you talk more about the engine?
sure. The whole reason I really bought this airplane is when I saw it was this propeller. This is about a $35,000 propeller that executes all the power that comes out of the engine. This engine is so strong that basically they've been able to detune it to 350 horsepower, and it's got plenty enough power for the airplane. And you do that for reliability reasons, just to make sure that everything is going to just work normal and you don't stress it out too much. And because there's really no Exxon stations in the sky, so you have to make sure everything works as much as possible in your favor. These are inspection points for the airplane. This comes like a boat in the fact that there's a bulkhead, a wall, all along these rivet areas here. It was just like, and it basically would say if you get a leak, you basically would only fill up one compartment because the other compartments are being sealed off. So it's a
Like the chunks in a ship or in a submarine.
That's right. Like the Titanic. Where it's like, boy, if it only hadn't taken out that fourth bulkhead, it would be alive today. You know, it's like, so they say. This here is a, just to make sure I get everything running, I use this as a drain. It was just like there are 4 water pumps in each one of these bulkheads, and they sit there and they'll transmit water up to here and spit it out if it detects any water coming up, filling up in the back as a precautionary measure. So it's like, we also have another one. Here. It's just like, these can put out like 1,250 gallons. These pumps can put out a tremendous amount of pressure and take up any water that they have if you're in a bulkhead. So
these are all more inspection ports along the...
That's right. And it enables you to get to flight control areas. It also enables you to get to your gear systems that are up underneath here. And this tail wheel, to land in the water, it folds up sideways, and so that way it doesn't interfere with the streamlining of the when it lands. So one of the unusual things about this is that these airplanes is that when they land in the water, it's considered a boat. Okay, when it takes off in the air, it's considered a plane. So you obey all the maritime laws when it's in the water, and you obey all the aviation regulations when it's in the air. This is the gas tank. This used to be an extension that used to come out way out like this, but this has been recessed and screwed in to get to a 75-gallon gasoline tank. And it takes regular auto gas. So it's like you go over and you get your gas from a gas station, and it's about 50% cheaper than the aviation gas that everybody else uses, which is a tremendous savings. These airplanes, when they were first started, were basically VFR airplanes. They only came with a couple of instruments, and you flew during the daytime and in clear weather to fly this airplane. And then if you ever ran into weather, you would go ahead and you would land in the ocean and wait it out, and then come back again, you know, if till you got into the daytime again, see your way home. Today, a lot more instruments have been put into these things. This is like instrument capable, and it's able to fly approaches and stuff like that. And basically, comes with a full complement of radios and autopilot and air conditioning and everything else. So they're very, they become sort of like more like a luxury aircraft than just basic needs. And these are all my antennas for running the radios and the transponder and everything else in it. This also has a modification of front headlights to land at night if necessary, and this is using 5,000 lumens to light up the runway for you if you have to do it, or land at night somewhere in the water. Although that's not something I would recommend that people do or anything, but it is capable of doing it. So this is basically what a Seabee is all about.